So how I felt the group did overall, I feel like our group did a good job in terms of like performance and more progression. As the class progressed, those two things kind of got better, and our grades kind of reflected that. It took us a couple like weeks and projects to get comfortable and rolling with one another, but then once we got rolling, we produced some great outcomes like in terms of group work. So AJ, I would say that he was a great group member and one of our main leaders on some of the projects. On like projects like the leadership and then the phases of group socialization, you stepped up because those were like the first projects where we had to like meet on Zoom call and talk to each other like face to face. And then you also made the problem solving, the decision making assignment. You also took charge and found like that perfect scene for us, that we used, and it led us to that 100%. Most importantly, though, I feel like during the problem solving assignment, along with actually the phases and group socialization project, you came up very clutch when you edited like all of our Zoom videos and incorporated all the video clips that we needed to like into those projects. That took a lot of time and work to figure it all out. And it was just one of the greatest things that you did. Now, on the other hand, if I had to point out something to work on, it would be the attitude when like the project was towards the ending. There are a couple of times like during the top 10 assignment or like the conflict one where we were like towards the end of it and there was like maybe one or two small things left to do, like minor changes, and you were like, it's fine, we're good enough, whatever, which is fine to some extent. But like on some assignments where we need to be very descriptive and detailed, that was kind of like needed. Now, other than the attitude to go like above and beyond, you were a really great team member that listened. You incorporated everyone to conversation, listened to everyone, and you did great work on like all of our group work. For Kay, I would say that Kay was a great group member too. It was your ability to get the work done no matter the circumstances. There were multiple times at the start of the group socialization phase assignment, and then the conflict assignment where you had like a lot of you told us you had like a lot of essays to write and tests to take, so you were super busy, and that you had to get done first before helping out like on our projects. But no matter what, like how much you had, you always like found time whenever possible to like help us out and do your work and get things done. But also not to like just work on them. Like they're actually hard work and thoughtful thinking, just not getting by for time's sake. And then adding to that, you had one of your great suggestions that you had during that time for how to do the assignment. I remember you suggested the show Friends for like the project phase of group socialization. And then even though we didn't go with that idea, it was still a great one. And I appreciated that you suggesting that and thinking it during your like super busy schedule. Lastly, I would say staying positive was one of your great things. Also, as a group member, through all the communication and texting about all the assignments, or even during like the hard ones, like the conflict one, where we had to like redo it and get things straight out. You kept our spirits high and like cared about us when we had to like go through all that extra work. If I had to suggest something to work on for you, it would be to be more calm and collectedness. What I mean by that is that if there was times we were like busy before like with other work and there's stress because there's the next project where it seemed like there was going to be a lot more work than was needed, it was overwhelming for you at times, like the conflict assignment, because we had to put like more work into it and redo most of it. I know, although we did manage to get the job done and you contributed greatly, we need to like be more calm and collective to like redo that project and everyone to stay on like the same page to fix our grade and our work. Because like others could have done that same thing or had that same feeling, and we really cannot afford to have so much negative effect into like so affect how we redid that work. But other than that, there's no really other issues that you need to work on. You were a great group member that contributed a lot and helped organization, and time awareness was great throughout this whole time in our group. And then finally, Darian, I would say you were a great group member as well. On every assignment, we were working with each other and doing work. You always did your fair share and did it well. In addition, especially in the assignments that required more work, like individually, like the conflict assignment, you did great and quick work in finding scenes for those questions and like explaining them really well. In addition, when we redid that assignment, there was a group number of questions that needed to be reworked. And then your work and dedication, ethic to spend more time and find better answers and better explanations for some of those questions were like huge and they had a big part of our grade. It showed that you really wanted to take part and cared about the success of our group. And I saw and appreciated that a lot. On the other hand, I would say you might want to work on communication. What I mean by that was like when we did project required Zooms, like problem solving, the leadership ones, we were like texting for when everyone was able to meet so we can work on and complete the assignment. Us other three members had to do a little more to get like an answer from you. That is okay sometimes, but maybe a little more communication at times would have been nice. And then another little thing I would say to work on is leadership. No, I know you did everything that you did that we asked of you and what was done. We appreciated it, but I feel like sometimes maybe you could have stepped up on one of those projects and took like the lead role. That could have maybe been of greater strength for you, and we didn't get to see that. But other than those two little things, your work ethic and knowledge was a fantastic contribution to like the group, and there's no real negative energy from you, so it kept everyone else's energy positive too.
So overall, I felt that the group worked well together and we all worked really hard and sacrificed a lot of time this semester to that really contributed to our success. For Kay, I feel that you were always available for our group discussions. Over the course of the semester, you were always communicating with us when you would communicating with us to let us know when you'd be available to talk about group assignments. And you'd always have time to hop on a Zoom call or chat over the phone about things. You also provided productive feedback during the assignments. On a lot of the assignments that we've done, Zoom and on our written assignments, you've always given feedback on other people's responses and work. And this gave us the ability to change things and clarify them, which greatly helped us get the grades that we were getting on these assignments. You also held your end of all of the requirements for these assignments. For example, on the top 10 competencies assignment, this assignment had a lot of requirements, and you went above and beyond and picked up some more questions. Um, and this really had made your equal share. This made you have a lot more work than some of us on that assignment. A con that I have is you were slightly unprepared for some of our meetings. I would say that occasionally you didn't have some sections done on an assignment, but we always kind of just made time during those meetings to finish stuff like that. Um, but yeah, that's what I have for UK. Um, Austin, I would say that you were very considerate during this semester. And I say this because there have been many times during our group assignments when you would ask if I needed help, like editing a Zoom call, or if you could help me with other things, like when we had the assignment where we had to watch the movie Ocean's 11. I think it was Ocean's 11, or the other one. You offered to pay for that movie, which was really nice. I think this helped me feel like I wasn't the only one willing to go above and beyond. To be successful in the semester. I would also say that you had proactive leadership on the last assignment, so the conflict assignment that we had to redo. We got a pretty low score, and you went above and beyond by getting us all together to redo the assignment when most of us didn't really, at least I didn't want to redo it, but I'm glad that we did. Um, I would say that you also helped facilitate our discussions. Throughout the semester, you participated in a lot of our discussions, but you also helped us stay on track when we were having struggles. You helped determine the next points that we needed to talk about or what we should talk less about. For example, during the group socialization assignment, you brought our discussion to a halt and made sure that everyone understood what the next steps were after the discussion, just so it was clear for everyone. The only con that I have would be clarity. And I say this because some of the work that you did kind of lacked clarity and it was hard to follow sometimes. But if someone ever asked you to explain something or if we just felt that it needed more clarity, you always explained it or touched it up a bit. Um, for Darian, I would say that you gave good opinions on a lot of our assignments. On a lot of these assignments, there were requirements that a lot of us didn't weren't entirely clear about or confident. And you would always contribute to the discussion and help us better understand what exactly is required of us. Um, and your presence in our group meetings. I think that you being present in these meetings has helped us be successful over the semester, especially with a course where everyone has to be present. And I'm sure there's groups where group members don't show up. So it's really nice that you are being present. Yeah, so for a con, I would say lack of communication. During the semester, you weren't really communicating with us about meeting times or if you could attend a meeting or if we needed to move something back. And this gave us kind of an uncertainty on if you were going to be present and really if you weren't there, we wouldn't be successful.
So overall, I would say like the group definitely helped not only me, but everybody else to grow as a person. I will say that everybody contributed to the group in like many different ways. So for Austin, you were one of like the first persons that I fully got like welcomed in by in the group. And to this day, I still remember the first like not exam, the first quiz that we done, and I was kind of freaking out. You texted me and you pretty much told me that you had faith in me. And that really pushed me forward to continue. And you kind of helped me study for the quiz and get me around. I will also say that I loved how every single time that we did Zoom calls, you came in with like a smile on your face, always made jokes. That really helped me out with my anxiety, especially like the first few like Zoom calls. I didn't really feel like comfortable or like kind of felt awkward. So that really pushed me forward to keep going. I will definitely say the one con that I did have was try not to get people too distracted with your jokes. Yes, it is fun. Yes, it makes people all bubbly and cheers people up. But yeah. AJ, I loved how you came in the group and you were right on from the bat. A great role model. You made sure that everybody was on topic, made sure everybody did their work. And the one thing that I loved about you and your personality is you showed that, yes, you are busy with work. You're busy with other classes. You barely get time to sleep. But you showed me so much throughout the semester. Even when you are busy, if you want to succeed in something, you have to keep going. You have to keep pushing, and you can do that. And I love that about you. The one con that I did have was definitely when you get excited, you talk so fast, which isn't a bad thing. But I would say sometimes when you do get excited, talk a little bit slower. Darian, I seen so much improvement out of you this whole entire semester. At the beginning of the semester, it kind of felt like you were a little bit shy, taken back. And I seen so much growth out of you, so much effort that you have put into the group, especially with like the last few projects. Um, I will definitely say the one con that I did have is definitely making sure that you do check your like text messages, text us back. It's not a bad thing. We're looking out for you. We want to make sure that you grow and continue to grow moving forward on. So definitely answering text messages to see like important messages that we have, important like assignments, and kind of connecting back to like what AG did say is I did love how when we did panic about certain like topics throughout the semester, you did give your feedback. You did make sure that like, hey, she's kind of saying going down this route instead of this route.
So overall, I think the group did really good in a lot of different ways, but just to point out some specifics, for examples, AJ edited the videos for our groups whenever we needed uh, to submit a video, and that helped a lot because I would have no idea how to do any of that. So that helped tremendously. Um, and Austin, for example, he would, like mentioned earlier, offer to purchase some of the movies that we had to cover. He also went and found certain clips for some of the questions we needed answered, like specific timestamps and such. And for Kay, I would say she often went out of her way to improve her scripts, even as we were working on the assignment. You know, if she saw that it could be better, she would go and make it better. As for flaws, I don't really have anything specific I can point out that hasn't been covered before, so I'll just leave it with that.